What's going on, guys? I'm out in the garage here. The rear end's all together. I tightened everything up, put the wheels on. It actually sits quite high. I put it on the jack stands on the rear end there. As you can see, I was actually really careful. I put it on rags and everything so I don't scratch that beautiful painted diff. But I guess we'll see once it's all down. There's a fuel tank and all that in there, but definitely sits quite high. So I'll have to put a bigger tire on, or these ones are really easy to lower because it's got the rear end's on top of the spring, so I can just put a lift block on it or a lowering block, whatever. And then I ordered a bunch of brake line and this fuel line. It's the special, I don't know, copper mix and stuff like that. But it's super easy to move and stuff like that, so it should be pretty easy. So I'll probably start doing that, running some fuel lines and brake lines, just kind of test fitting everything on the car. Yeah, I'll work on that tonight for a little bit. But yeah, I'd like to get those kind of half plumbed, put the metering block in the front, and then I can drop the thing down on the ground again and start doing something else. Yeah, I'll get to putting that stuff in, get it kind of half hung, and show you how it turns out. Alright, so I'd wrap this this line. This is the fuel line. This is 3/8. Figure I'd just kind of show you how easy it is to move. Like, I did the Nova, my last car there, with steel, and what a nightmare it was to straighten out. But this stuff is just perfect. So this should make doing the car a whole heck of a lot easier. So yeah, I suggest buying it. Alright, slight change of plans. I got pretty excited about using this 3/8 fuel line, how easy it was going to do to plumb it up and all that. So I pulled the fuel tank out, so I'm going to hang that. So I got this kit which came with straps, the little insulators for the straps, sender, and obviously a brand new tank. So I'll put that in there. I actually got one for a 57, because on the 57 they have a separate vent tube on it. The 55 and 6 didn't. So my plan is, when I had my big block in my Chevy short box, it vapor locked all the time. So this one I was going to use the vent as a return, and then because it's 55 it has a vented gas cap. So hopefully that'll all kind of work out for me and prevent any issues. So that way the fuel will come up, go through the pump, and I'll make sure I get a pump off of something in the 80s there. And it has three lines, so one feed, one return, then one obviously goes up to the motor. And that way it'll keep the fuel flowing through the tank. Because the second I did that on my big block Chevy in the truck there, it solved all my problems and ran great. So I figured I'd just do that right from the start this time. Lesson learned, right? So this is the tank. This is the old filler tube there. They're super simple. These there's just a rubber O-ring, which just came with a new one, and it just kind of jams in there, and then you bolt it to the car, and that's about it. So that's that. And then obviously the sender, very simple. You just kind of fish it in there. This one actually just screws it, which is actually super handy. Everything I've ever done for the most part has the you gotta knock that little ring around and stuff. And then it came with a little pipe plug, because these Tri-5 Chevys have a drain on them. So yeah, you do that. A lot of guys end up using the drain actually as a feed, so you can run a big fuel line to an electric pump or something like that at the very bottom of the tank. So it works out pretty good. But I'm just gonna go with everything stock on it. And then, like I said, over here, that's the vent, which the other ones don't have. So I'll just kind of run a piece of 3/8 pipe wherever along up there, and then run that up to the front of the car with some 1/4-inch line or whatever I got left over, and it should be good. So that's that. I'll put this sender together, and then start hanging it in the car. What's going on, guys? So I'm back out in the garage there. I guess where I left it, the fuel tank was just getting kind of put together. I wire wheeled the filler tube there for the tank. I just give it a quick coat of paint so it looks kind of decent. Just working in the trunk area, so I cleaned just all that kind of old undercoating stuff for tar or whatever off of the tank mounting bolts, or whatever you want to call them there. Then I just zip cut them off, so they're basically done, ready to go. And then I just unwrapped all these. So pretty simple, just 2 straps. So these little hooks will fit into the front of the car. They hook in and then go around. These I'll take them apart, but basically they fit through there. You can see there's a little square opening. You fold those over, it holds it in, and then you just put one bolt, tighten it up, and then the other one goes right through, and then it goes into that, and then it just all kind of wraps around. So pretty simple. And then there's some rubber straps that go on there as well. So I'll put a little silicone on the tank or something like that, just to kind of hold them in place till I get them tightened up. And that's that. I want to make sure I put the tube in before I go too crazy, because it was a real pain actually to take out with the tube in. So hopefully I can put it in, slide it all up, and then there's just the gas door here. I don't know if you can even see in there, it's kind of dark, but there's a little mounting bolt kind of thing in there, so I'll mount it up, and that's pretty much it. So it's going pretty good. But yeah, I'll get this tank kind of half started and show you how it's going to work underneath, and we'll go from there. Alright, just show you guys, so I got both the carriage bolts in, knocked the little tabs over, and underneath, put the nuts on with the lock washers to hold them both in place, and then the straps are there, so they just kind of fit in loose. Ultimately the tank's going to fit up against the trunk floor. Put the straps around, they just kind of work against themselves, and then you do that. So you put your washer and your nut there, you tighten it up, and then the tank will be there. So pretty simple. This car still has the old wiring just hanging down there for the sender and all that sort of stuff, so I'm going to put brand new wiring in this thing. But on this car, because the sender actually faces forward, I should be able to get to it no problem, just to kind of put the fuel line and all that in, so I don't got to worry about it. A lot of tanks, it's on top, and you got to kind of screw around with that, so this will be easy. So all I've done is that, and then obviously I put another coat of paint on the filler tube, let that set up, and then I just cut some straps top and bottom, and I just put a little bit of kind of RTV on them just to hold them in place. I'll let that set up for, you know, half hour or so while I let the paint dry on this, because once this is dry, it's got to fit the little O-ring around there, and that literally just pops in the tank, and then that's where it attaches to the mount in the quarter. So I'll let that sit, go eat some dinner, and then probably come back out later. Should be able to put a floor jack under it, raise it up, hold it, wrap both straps there around the tank, and it should be good. It weighs nothing, it's just a little bit awkward, and I don't want to drop it. So I'll be back shortly. Alright, so I finished dinner here. Got the fuel tank on the floor jack. Just crammed in the filler neck. It just kind of sits in there with the O-ring there, and then once it's on, it shouldn't move anywhere. So that's that. So I'll slide under there, get it in the straps, and kind of show you guys how it goes. Alright, so there you go. Tank's in. Pretty simple little setup there. Worked out real good. Yeah, so that's pretty much that. I think I might just start unraveling some fuel line, maybe lay it out under the car, get all straightened out a little bit, and then probably call it for tonight, because I don't have any self-tapping screws, which I was going to use to mount it. And then I was going to borrow a fancy flaring tool off my buddy, so he's probably going to drop it off tomorrow. So probably get a lot done this weekend.